It was day 2 here in Ashburn at Commanders Park, and the Washington Commanders were on the clock at pick number 61 in the second round. And what did they do? Well, they took a physical corner out of Ole Miss, Trey Amos. If you don't know much about this guy, he's 6'1", 195 pounds. A physical demon, will come up and hit you, will come up and press cover you. And that's exactly what Washington's hoping that they have acquired with that pick. A corner that will come in, battle with Marshawn Lattimore, Mikey Sainristil, Jonathan Jones, add depth, but also have another physical presence that will be helpful, especially when they play teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, who bring in A.J. Brown, who's a physical wide receiver. So now Washington adds another physical presence to its secondary. And when I spoke to Adam Peters, as far as what does Trey Amos bring to this defense, this is what he had to say.
When you look at him, his style of play and all the great players that he played with at Ole Miss, because they had a lot of pro prospects on their defense, his physicality, how does that help your defense now? Because he's a bigger version of maybe Marshawn.
Yeah, he is a big, strong dude, and he's a competitor. And you said there's a lot of good players on that team. We didn't have him on a 30 visit, but we had Trey Harris on a 30 visit, who's a big, strong dude too. And he talked about how they battled every day in practice. It's iron sharpening iron, so to speak. And so he's played against a lot of really good players, and he doesn't back down to anybody. And he it's almost like he relishes it. You saw it on the tape. You saw it I saw it in person at the Senior Bowl in the one-on-ones, and the way he challenges guys and how strong he is. So, the NFL's, it's a tough physical game, and so when you can do that and not only physically but mentally, then that certainly gives you an advantage.
So it's a lot earlier than it was last night when we left the park at 1:30 in the morning. It's a little after 10 now, and the day is over. Washington's not maneuvering to move back up in the draft or back at all. They're content right now having 2 players in Josh Connerly, who they took yesterday, and then again having Trey Amos today, 2 guys that were high on their board. Adam Peters mentioned that some people in the building had Trey Amos as a first rounder, and he was the highest player on some of the guys in the building, some of the scouts board. So there was a lot of cheer. You could hear the cheering when the pick was announced and came in. So they're very happy about the 2 young guys that they brought in to compete with this team to make them a lot better. So there'll be a lot more coming up tomorrow. I think tomorrow is when you'll see a little bit more wheeling and dealing. Will they trade back? Will they try to add more, acquire more picks? We'll find out. But the first 2 days, I think, for the Commanders have been really good, considering they've only had 5 picks. I think these 2 guys have a chance to come in and be instant. I don't want to use the word impact too soon, but these guys have a chance to come in and compete. I think Josh Connerly has a chance to legitimately start at right tackle for the team opening day. And I think Trey Amos is going to be a young player that's going to be on the field a lot for this defense. So Washington Commanders are off the clock, at least for one more evening. Tomorrow we'll be back out here in Ashburn at Commanders Park. At Ashburn, Commanders Park, I'm Lake Lewis.